It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Welcome back and happy Monday. Happy Labor Day. I hope you guys had a beautiful and safe weekend. I know I'm just going to address this. Jason's going to make fun of me for it. But last night I was eating Thai food and I got hot sauce on my finger and then scratched my eye. So my eye is reacting. Don't make fun of me. I woke up this morning feeling like Quasimodo, but the show must go on. So before we jump in, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And don't forget tonight, at 7 p.m. Eastern, we are doing Let's Whine About It. It's our members only live. We have a hot, messy podcast to talk about change of plans when it comes to BravoCon. And Jason and I are flying out on Wednesday to California for our next interview. So lots to discuss. With that, let's welcome Jason. Good morning.
You know what's so funny about that hot sauce story is it's not the first time.
Well, I have contacts. So my eyes get irritated all the time. I'm allergic to our cats, right? That sucks. So then if they come over and I touch my eye, I touched it with hot sauce. And then I woke up this morning and my eye was this big and I'm like, oh.
But I feel like you like touch the cat and then you're like this. And then when you eat hot sauce, for some reason, you like touch it and you go like this. Maybe you just got to be aware not to touch your eyes when you're touching the cats and the food.
I know. Thanks, Jason. Thanks for the support.
You're welcome.
Shan said, just take an antihistamine. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Which I also have told you to do. And sometimes you.
No, I already did that.
Oh, good. Then you should be feeling better soon.
Okay. All right, guys. We have 100 in the room. I've done it too, Adam. I like spicy stuff too. Okay. I never learned my lesson either. Thanks, Tess.
You know,
everyone has a hot sauce story. Thanks, Lori. Wow. Yeah. So take that, Jay.
There you go. You got your support.
All right. So, Jason, where do you want to start? Because we've had a lot of drama play out over the weekend. Last night, we finally got the She by Shereé fashion show. We have Real Housewives.
14 years in the making.
14 years in the making, which I'm sure everybody has seen this by now, and I woke up to it this morning. Poor Shereé, this woman. Dear fans, due to the overwhelming interest in She by Shereé, the influx of love is crashing the website. But please understand it's being worked on, so continue to check back within the next 24 hours. We are working to get this quickly resolved. We wish to serve you soon. Thank you for your interest. Thanks to the customers whom we're able to serve so far tonight.
Interesting. Do you think it really crashed or there wasn't enough product?
No, I think it crashed. I mean, at this point, they filmed it so long ago, like it was months ago that they filmed this. So I think what happened was it crashed. I mean, the same thing happened. I'm not comparing She by Shereé to like the Kardashians, but the same thing happened to Kylie Jenner. Her site crashed in 30 seconds because they weren't expecting that many people to go on to it. Last night, the viewers, I think there was over 1 million viewers for last night's finale. So obviously, I think it crashed. And I hope that she makes a lot of money. Listen, last time, you remember you were laughing? I was like rooting. I'm like, I want her to win.
No, I wasn't laughing. 100%. I think there's a new kind of business structure we can learn from Shereé. And that is to announce something and not have it hit right at the beginning and to keep talking about it for 14 years and then release it and watch the whole world like go crazy for it. It's really like, I don't know if this was the grand plan or whatever, but it certainly worked.
It certainly worked. And I also thought the fashion show was great. When I was watching it, I was like, oh shit, I'd wear that. Like that little like one-piece bikini thong kind of thing. I'd totally rock that, you know? And
no one would be with you.
You know, but
no, listen, the show was good. The models were good. I thought the fashions were fun. You know, that athleisure kind of thing. I think that's what a lot of people are into right now. You want to look good, but you also just want to be comfortable, especially after the pandemic and everything. I think this is it's a good brand. It's workout clothes. It's like it is athleisure
too. I think she's charging like 120 plus a set. So she's gonna listen. I want to see her win. Somebody has to pay for Chateau Shereé. Okay. So
listen, someone has to pay for Chateau Shereé. And maybe, I don't know. We have a lot to talk about when it comes to Atlanta.
Yes. Let's start with Atlanta since we already got in here. But I love the fact that she let Lyrone come to the show. Okay?
Lyrone.
She called him Lyrone. She let Lyrone come to the show. First of all, the way that he came in with no apologies. And he's like, I'm not apologizing to you. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, this is such a distraction and so annoying because this is the biggest moment for Shereé. She needs to pull this off. And then you're coming in, starting some drama and stirring up a whole scene that's unnecessary, which we know for a fact that Shereé knew that he was coming in the first place, or he was speaking with producers. I thought it was funny that her daughter didn't even know who the hell he was. And then you show up on the actual day of the fashion show. She lets you give her the flowers. She introduces you to her mom as Prison Bae. She lets you watch the entire success of the show. And then you're like, hey, can we talk? And she's like, hell no, get out of my face. Bye. I was here for it.
I thought it was funny too. All the shade, all the shade from the flowers and stuff that production was putting in there was really funny. But I found it weird too. Like he like went up there, gave her flowers, but was like posing for the picture while she wasn't even like ready for a picture. So it just seemed like, you know, he wanted some of the fame and the popularity that goes along with Shereé. But yeah, I'm so glad we're done with him. We don't have to hear about him anymore.
Yeah.
She has a new boyfriend, which I think we're going to hear a lot about at the reunion. So I'm excited for that. For Shereé too.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. And she even pointed out that she felt like he wanted some camera time. And there are a lot of people who will be on, like, who come on these shows. For example, like the fraud guy Brooks, who came on for Vicky. He loved the camera time. He loved the attention. And some people, like, you have to be, even if you're just on reality TV, you have to be very aware of who's there for the right or wrong reason. So
right.
For her, I'm glad that she kicked him to the curb, especially the way that he came in immediately with that energy. I was like, nope. After you sitting around and waiting for this man to get out of prison and he can't even give you an apology for making you sit there and look like a fool. No.
Bye, girl.
Actually, she did tell him when he first came not to come back if he wasn't going to apologize. Well,
this is true.
Listen.
Very interesting. What did you think about the Real Housewives of Atlanta finale last night?
I didn't think it was the most exciting.
Not really, huh?
We did get, at least we came full circle with a lot of the stories, right? So I love seeing Kenya film with her daughter. I love that Kenya is now in 5,000 CVS stores. I think that's incredible. I honestly...
Is it 5,000 or 500?
5,000.
5,000. Holy 5,000
stores.
That is a huge deal.
That's a huge deal.
And it did not take 14 years.
And you know this for a fact because Jason and I, fun fact, a while back when I was going through the whole patent process, I sat down with CBS to do a deal with them, but we couldn't get the product down low enough. But we didn't fly. We drove to Arizona, right? Or Arkansas?
Yeah, it was Scottsdale,
Arizona.
Arkansas. Yeah. What the hell?
I don't know. I remember sitting down with CBS and I was just like shaking and they're like, what's the matter? And I'm like, I'm not built for business. But Kenya did the damn thing and so did She by Shereé. And you know, for Sonia Richards-Ross, I love the fact that her husband came to her and finally said, I want to be in the trenches. I want to have another child. But if you're not feeling it at this moment, then okay, let's put this on hold. Only to find out that they actually are trying for another baby. So good for them. I love seeing Kandi film with Mama Joyce. But I think at this time, and this might be an unpopular opinion, I think Kandi's time on the show is up.
Wait, before that, we have to talk about Mama Joyce and how she wants to be in charge of a trust because she thinks she's going to live longer than Kandi.
Well, like, I think know.
You never know. No, this is true, but I love how she wants to be a part of that, like just in case. It's so funny.
Mean, listen, I don't agree with. I understand. I always have an unpopular opinion about this shit because I understand where, you know, her husband Todd is like, you don't think that I could be in charge and like make sure that everyone gets theirs. Well, she's worth $30 million. Her daughter Riley comes first, and she's like thinking in her head, you know, hold on, mom, what if this man takes all $30 million and leaves me, you know, screwed over, even though you don't want him to do that? I understand too, sometimes when you put a plan in place, it doesn't always work out that way. You know this.
No, I'm dealing with that right now. My grandmother passed, you know, she left a very like certain will. I mean, the grandchildren are in it, so we don't care, but the kids are fighting over it. Fighting over something that has been written down legally, and they're still trying to fight it legally. It's just insane how much money can like ruin families, and this kind of thing can happen. But I think it would be a good idea to not leave. I don't know. You can leave someone else in charge of a trust.
Right. But then also my mom and her brother, it completely ripped them apart as a family. They haven't spoken in over 20 years over, you know, a will that it just wasn't executed the right way. So I hate when it comes to, you know, wills and the conversations. I've had conversations with my dad, and I just don't like that conversation. One, I don't want to anticipate anyone like passing. I'm not ready for that. I'm not built for that. And two, I don't want to fight with my family over money. At this point, really, we just need to build an empire. That way we can be like, take the money and go.
Just leave us alone. No, I'm
Leave
just
us
kidding.
alone.
I'm just kidding.
Theo said, I read a rumor about the approval ratings of the current cast, and Sonya and Kandi had the lowest scores from execs, apparently. This is the thing. I think that for Kandi Burruss, and I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are, but for Kandi Burruss, I understand she brings a certain level of like, she has a huge following, right? She is the most famous if we're taking Nene Leakes out of it.
Worldwide.
Worldwide, yes. But I don't think that she's that exciting anymore on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think that she should continue to grow Kandi and the gang. Let's have her more like as a prominent role on that show, just like Lisa Vanderpump on Vanderpump Rules.
Or let's see like Kandi and the gang expand. Like maybe we just don't want to see the restaurants. Let's see the music business. Let's see more about other things she's doing. I think.
Didn't they do the Candy Factory or something?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, she's done a lot of shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah, but I do have to say, like, Kandi, she's fine. She's a familiar face. I love Kandi. I just think maybe you hit a point there. I think her time on the show is done. She's kind of like, see, like, what else are we gonna see? You know, now the reunion is supposed to pop off really hot from what we've heard. So I want to see how that goes. I don't think Kandi should come back though. Like I would love to see Porsha return. At this point, I don't know why they're pushing Apollo so much and giving him so many confessionals. Is this a workup to bring Phaedra back? Is that something that would happen? Because bringing back Porsha and Phaedra, leaving Apollo in the mix, I don't know how that would work out. I don't know if she would even film with him. I don't know how that would be, but I think it's time for a little change up. I do like Sonya. I think she should stay. I know that's an unpopular opinion. I think she's great. Drew finally has like solidified her spot, I think. Marlo, I'm kind of like either way about because I was so excited for Marlo, but they're not going to just like
if they give her a friend again, take it away after one season, that would be so fucked up. But I think what's going to happen here is honestly, or what needs to happen, Kandi needs to have her other show. Someone said that she doesn't look so happy on, you know, Atlanta anymore. And I agree with that. It doesn't seem like she's really all in. And if you're not all in, then, you know, like, let's just let it go. And then I think we should bring back Phaedra, even though Phaedra went on the Wendy Williams show and called Real Housewives of Atlanta the Titanic and a sinking ship. Bring back the drama with Apollo. Right now, we just also heard that Apollo violated their divorce agreement by going on and talking negatively about Phaedra, which I didn't even realize you could put a clause like that in there. But I'm sure since she's an attorney, she made sure you're not going to go out here and bash my name. So we're putting this clause in here. And apparently the clause says, I can't talk negatively of you. You can't talk negatively of me. And then when he said, yeah, I think it's a great clause. And I think what happened was when he went on and said, my ex left me to die, left me out there, like didn't, you know, she was like, okay, now that's talking negatively about me. So I think that violated the agreement, but everyone loved that Apollo was there. And then on top of that, for Phaedra and Porsha are back, you know, in good terms. They're in a good standing. So I think what needs to happen is we need to lose Kandi and Sanya Richards-Ross. I think we
I remember we've talked about this so much. Besides Diana Jenkins, I think like this new housewife and oh god, Teddy Mellencamp was a kind of a dud too. But I think we should give Sanya another. I felt for her first season she came in pretty good.
Well,
just like one more season of Sanya. We can keep it. We can have what's working out on some of the other shows I'm watching is more people. Like if you watch Southern Charm, there's a lot of people. I want to see more ladies. We don't need to have like just a couple of friends make, you know, entrances or, you know, appearances every now and then. We need like a full cast of ladies.
You know, and Bad and Bougie said too, Sanya should stay. Okay, I'll give Sanya another chance, but how is Kandi not all in? She shows more of her life and relationships than anyone. I'm confused. I think she's in and she does the job. I just don't think she looks like she's excited to be there anymore.
I don't think it's about being excited to be there. I just don't know what storyline is going to continue with Kandi.
Right.
You know, like unless you bring the others back, if you bring Phaedra back and Kandi and that whole thing, I don't know. So I really don't know. But okay, if you could have your dream cast, well, what would that be for next season? Well, if you had to exclude Kandi.
Now that Nene allegedly settled for $4.5 million, we know she's not coming back. So I would say Porsha Williams, Phaedra Parks. I would say Drew Sidora, Marlo Hampton, Eva, Sanya, Kenya, Shereé.
That would be perfect. 8 ladies.
Yeah.
It works better with a bigger cast. It really does.
And Katie Roberts said no one ever. No. We do not need Kim Zolciak back. No. I don't think we should bring people back. Let's just get to new people. See, that's the thing though too, Judgy Justice. We've tried that with the other franchises and it's proving in the ratings that it's not working. People don't care about the other people as much as they argue like, I don't want old people back. They're more invested and excited to see where are we at in our lives now? Like what happened since the last time we saw you? That's why they keep on bringing back Shereé. They're like,
I know, it's so funny. And what did that Faces by Bravo post? I brought it up last week too, but it said,
gosh.
Whenever Shereé appears on the, she reminds us why she was fired.
So,
although I think she really had a good season this season. I was really interested in Shereé. I do have to say too, you see what's happening on some of the other franchises. Like you pointed out this morning when we were talking about the Real Housewives of New Jersey, they are bringing on some younger, three like younger ladies, which I think they're trying to appeal to a younger demographic. Tonight is the premiere of the Real Girlfriends in Paris.
They're premiering it on Labor Day? Yeah,
I think it's tonight. Am I mistaken on that?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I've talked so much smack about that because the way they're pushing this show,
by the way.
What?
I don't think it premieres tonight.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because there's not a new episode of Below Deck either tonight.
Yeah, there is, I think.
Is there? I don't know.
I think I'm
not watching.
Yeah, thank you, Judgy Justice. Tonight, 9 p.m. No, I'm gonna try it because I want to see if I'm gonna eat my own words. But the way they've been promoting it by having the girls like explain what the show is and how it works, it's like, and then speaking bad French on top of that, it's like we don't. I don't know. I know Bravo needs to appeal to a younger crowd. I mean, you have a whole different crowd that watches Southern Charm than you do Housewives. You have a whole different crowd that watches Below Deck. So I'm curious to see if we're going to hit it off or not.
Yeah, but you could also listen, the Real Girl, I don't want to bash something before it comes out. So maybe
I bashed the hell out of it already. So it's all right.
Judgy Justice said terrible French. Listen, I don't want to bash it. I'll give it a chance. But my thing is just, I feel like they're putting a lot of eggs in this basket. And watching the trailer, I was like, this doesn't look exciting. Maybe it will be. But I think the Real Girlfriends of Paris, I understand they're trying to go for a younger demographic. However, we could start a new Housewives, show and have like a Christine Quinn and like these younger women who are in their 30s, but also extremely wealthy. They have that reality TV sort of shtick. And some people do age out, right? We were talking about the fact that, and this is a good segue, recently.
Wait, hold on, because I want to stick on this really quick because I know what you're going to say. No, just the fact, like, we're finding this younger demographic. I think it would be cool and fun to bring in these younger ladies, like you're talking about, like Christine Quinn, but we still need our familiar faces. We still need our veterans. I mean, what's happening with the Real Housewives of New York legacy already looks not interesting to me. And then unless you're bringing these new group of women on New York, we can do away. There is a point where you do age out of this. I don't want to sound awful for saying that, but it's like, how long are we going to continue it? But I think with Atlanta,
we aged out.
Yeah, exactly. But also, I feel like, if they want that younger demographic, that's great. But with the Real Housewives of Atlanta and that cast that you just named, that could be an amazing cast with 8 ladies. I think that is perfection. That kind of mixes in, newbies, younger ladies who are new, and then we still have our familiar faces who are on the show. I think that is a good mix. But like we were talking about this morning, do you think Lisa Vanderpump, because she was just seen filming with Garcelle, which is not the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. This is Vanderpump Rules, confirmed. I can confirm. There it is. But has she aged out from the franchise?
No.
I
want her back. I saw where people were shading the hell out of LVP on Twitter, and they're like, "You really think this woman could save the franchise?" I think that
at this point, yes.
Yes. And the thing is, I don't think that she would put herself. The problem here now is when you have someone like Lisa Rinna, who's so reckless on social media and will say anything to ruin someone's marriage, their relationships with their family, their businesses, when you're calling them a homophobic, racist narcissist, when you're going this above and beyond, I wouldn't want to put myself in a situation to be around someone like that, because if I accidentally piss you off or say the wrong thing, or you just look at me like a piece of meat on a bone and you're like, okay, you're an easy target. I don't want to, put my family or my life through that kind of stress. Like that has to be traumatic for some people. So I don't think for Lisa Vanderpump, on Vanderpump Rules, she has so much control. She does not have to do that. She doesn't have to deal with shit. If you talk out of the left side of your face to Lisa Vanderpump, she will make sure, okay.
Oh, 100%. Now listen, she's turned 62 next week. Her birthday is next week. So I don't know. She's a grandmother now. She seems very content and very happy. We've spoken to her many times about the show and what it, how much stress and drama it brings into the personal life. At this moment, though, I don't know if would she want to come back? And is this a stepping stone by filming with Garcelle on Vanderpump Rules and Oliver being in the mix on Vanderpump Rules for her to step back into a franchise where it's so toxic right now? Like, we need a little bit more positivity on Beverly Hills. Do you think that she could bring that, or a little fun shade?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. 100%. And people were wondering, are they filming Beverly Hills right here? No, this is Vanderpump Rules. You can see Garcelle's son Oliver at the table too. They're at Pump. Jason knows this scene very well, but when
I lived at that place for many years,
but what they need to do is they need to take out a couple of people. They need to, because Lisa Vanderpump would get along good with Garcelle and Sutton, so she can come in and kind of be a part of that dynamic, but they need to let Lisa Vanderpump bring someone with her new, like a fresh face. She knows everyone in Beverly Hills, so bring on a fresh face, and have them film together. And that way, like if Rinna and Dorit and can you imagine LVP filming with Kyle, Dorit, Rinna, and Erica? She would look at Erica and be like, girl,
no. And that's the thing. It's like, this is where we need the cash shakeup too. Like, if you brought LVP back, right? I agree. I agree with what you said. Her and Garcelle have been hanging out a lot. I mean, for months, when Garcelle first went to Richardson's fundraiser for Haiti, I think in the spring, that's where they met, I believe. Yeah. And then you have Sutton, who has a store literally 2 blocks, like, from Pump and all of Lisa's restaurants. I think that would be a good mix. Like, those 3 would be great contenders. I'm so tired though of and I don't want to say anything, whatever, but the Lisa and Erica stuff, I'm just over it. And then where does Dorit stand on all of this if you take them away?
LVP knows Kimora Lee Simmons, and Kimora recently said that she'd be open to coming on. So bring on Kimora with LVP. Like, you want to talk about the real glam? That would be real glam. And I don't know if you saw this, but I talked about it in a video this morning. This is the other shit that's like so exhausting. And there's so many lies out there on the internet, guys. Almost 400 in the room. Smash that like button. But apparently Patrick Sommers wrote, I have just learned that Lisa Rinna is suing me for breach of a verbal agreement and slander. She is seeking $350,000 in damages. I will file a counter lawsuit seeking $2 million in damages. Again, slander, emotional distress, and data breach. This comes shortly after I announced I was publishing an article in the Wall Street Journal. But here's the thing too, is he even said he was the first person who's not a friend or family of a cast member who's been invited to a reunion. Let's see. Because if you don't show up, he's not, like, if he doesn't show up to the reunion, then it's going to make it even, look more like he's lying about stuff. But I already know what he's going to come out and say. If in fact he is lying about this and he doesn't get invited to the reunion, he's going to come out and say, oh, I was ready to go, but Lisa Rinna said she wouldn't show up and film if I was filming. And then it's like, it lets you off the hook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know what to believe in that situation. I really don't. Yeah.
And Bad and Bougie's right. Kimora needs to come on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She will stop the bullying real quick. I mean, Kimora's reality TV gold too, and she's a boss.
She is reality TV. Like, she had all of these shows before. We don't need, she doesn't need to step in or she doesn't need like a first season to see if it works. Like, she's going to come in reality TV. She knows she's reality TV ready.
Tyler, this is an interesting assessment. The only person being bullied is Erica.
Interesting.
I don't know about that. Okay. All right. But no, if you guys in the live chat, I want you guys to kind of pop off on this one. We have to lose 2 cast members. Who are we losing on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Jason?
Ooh.
And think about it too, because even though you might not like someone, they still keep the pot, like stirring, the storylines flowing. Even if we don't necessarily like them, do we want them off the show? I don't know.
Dorit and Lisa Rinna.
Okay. So you would keep Erica?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Erica,
I would love to see either how Dorit does without the other ladies or how Erica does without the other ladies. If you bring in Kimora, you bring in Lisa Vanderpump, who come back, then we have like conflict with Kyle, and I want to see what Erica does. Is she going to attach to Kyle? Like, what's going to happen? I want to see what that would be like, what that scenario would be like. And would Sutton and Lisa Vanderpump really get along, or would that put a division in Garcelle and Sutton's friendship if that ever happened? You know,
I mean, a lot of people too are saying Crystal and Diana.
Oh, of course, Diana. I'm sorry. I thought we were already getting rid of her anyway. So, I wasn't counting her as part of, you know,
everybody got a cease and desist. She's going anyways. No.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. You never know. But I know that we got this, and this was exciting to me. We have the Real Housewives of Potomac. The cast photo dropped, which means the trailer, if it's not out already, while we're, you know, in this live,
I mean,
sure it's coming out today or tomorrow. It has to be.
This is a 7 lady cast. They are phenomenal. We know this is such a great cast that this is going to be such a great season. I just feel it from the photo. We know these ladies now. Wendy's been on for a few seasons. Robin's been on for a few seasons too long. Giselle, Karen, Ashley, Candace. Yeah, it will be great.
Listen, and they look phenomenal.
They look great. And we have there's no new cast member here.
Well, there's friends of, yeah.
There's friends of, okay, but I'm talking about cast because that's who we focus on and talk about, right?
Right.
And I just think it's going to be really good. I think we might be getting our best season of Real Housewives of Potomac.
I mean, listen, Ashley Darby's navigating a divorce that she said we're going to learn more about on the show. She hasn't publicly really talked too much about her divorce because they were filming it. So she can't, I mean, it'll ruin her contract. Candace Diller Bassett, from what we're hearing, she's going through the IVF, you know, treatment and trying to have a baby. She looks like $1 million. She's
also been keeping busy with music and acting and everything.
I still think that I think that Candace Diller Bassett should leave the show and focus on her career, because I've watched her acting gigs and I've listened to her music. I think that she's talented.
We've enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's great. I mean, listen, you have to give flowers where flowers are due. Even though Candace doesn't like, she doesn't like me and her husband, you know, they don't like us. That's okay. I'm like, you're talented as hell. Let's give you, you know,
we were talking about but that's the thing is like, show your talent. You don't have to go off and be kind of a nasty person sometimes. I do have to say, because not many housewives who have like kind of done that transition, you know, into other things have been successful unless they've come from that world, you know? So it's very interesting, but yeah, very talented.
Like Garcelle being on a talk show and Garcelle going back for like Coming to America, or Lisa Rinna going back to the soaps and stuff. Like they started there, you know? So yeah, it makes sense why they would, I mean, Garcelle didn't start on the talk show, but it makes sense why these opportunities would fall into place. But like you said, it's so hard for someone who comes onto reality TV to really be able to segue into that world. And if you can pull it off,
it's a whole, everybody thinks, oh, she's on TV, it's going to be easier. It's a whole different, you know.
I think they lose respect for you, actually. Like in that industry, they kind of like, they look at you like you're not going to be taken as seriously if you are on reality TV, right? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah.
I mean,
definitely. I mean, look at Denise Richards.
Listen, Denise Richards is making a shit ton of money on OnlyFans.
She's making a lot of money on OnlyFans, but we skipped something really quick that I want to talk about. How do you think Vanderpump Rules, I mean, how do you think this is all going to blow up? Because Raquel, I guess, is coming back to the show.
Raquel is like, what the hell is Raquel? Raquel? Sweet little Bambi-eyed Raquel is out here making out with all the married men. What is happening? She's out here like the only person that she gave Peter a sympathy date. Okay, Peter, sir, manager.
100%.
Peter.
I don't think we're gonna see Peter anymore on the show.
No, I'm sure we'll see. They filmed the date together, so I know that for a fact. They filmed it at Tom Tom, but I don't think that we're going to see much more. Peter loves the show. He's talked about the show. I remember working for him. I guess you have to have a big ego to be on a reality show, and Peter definitely has that ego. But I don't think that he's as interesting as the other cast members, because he just can't take himself out of, I'm Peter, sir manager. It's like, yeah, well, we're past that, friend. But Raquel,
it's also 2022.
It's been quite some time, Peter, sir manager. But for Raquel, Sheena just recently talked about how she's like, listen, I heard some stuff that Raquel and Tom did make out at my wedding. She's like, I didn't necessarily see it, but I heard about it, which that's her way of saying, like, obviously it happened. And then we have Garcelle's son, Oliver. His wife is out here just dragging him through the social media streets, just letting him know, I have all of these different women in my DMs letting me know that you've been cheating on me. And I know for a fact that you filmed a scene hooking up with Raquel, and you're throwing away your family to be a friend of on this show. And she's like, he's not even getting paid. which we also know, even if you're a full-time cast member on the show, your first season, you don't get paid. If you get paid anything, it's like $3,000. Max Bowens, Dana Cathan, Brett Caprioni, Charlie Burnett, like your first season, you get paid shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like, wow, you're going to jump into the Dragon's Den and try to for $3,000. No, I think it's interesting because we watched. I mean, listen, she just got out of this horrible like relationship where she had to be patient and go through all of these processes with James. Now we're going to watch Raquel let loose. She's the bachelorette and she's just going to test the waters and just feel which water is right for her.
Sheila said, why do you think Diana has not been on Watch What Happens Live or the Bravo after show?
Probably because she's too controversial.
Or because
like,
she knows
really controversial.
We know a housewife in particular who won't film much when it comes to Watch What Happens Live or stuff like that because she doesn't want to be asked about certain things. So maybe Diana doesn't want to be asked because some of those scenes were cut about the Jeff Epstein, that's allegedly, right? Maybe she doesn't want to talk about all of those rumors and the allegations. So she knows if she goes on that there's going to be some shady question. Like, you know how they bring up like a thing of corn and it has like a face and it's like, hey, Shady Corn, what questions do you have for us today? And Shady Corn's like, Diana, there's rumors going about that. And she's like, I'm not doing that shit. So
yeah.
Hey, Sheila,
thank you, Sheila.
And then I hear Adam worked at Pump. Was he a producer or bartender or something? I did not work at Pump. Jason worked at Pump as a manager. I worked at Tom Tom and Sir. And no, I was a host and a server, but we saw everything. And then there was another question here. Wait, Janelle said Zach Peter said in his live that Raquel could be the next Stassi, but much nicer. No, that's not going to happen. Yeah. I mean, it's a great conspiracy theory, but Raquel is like, she's sweet. She's cute. It's nice to see her on the show. She doesn't have that, though. Lala tries to have the Stassi effect. She tries. I don't think Lala has it either.
I really hope, and I know I'm not kind of changing it up a little bit, but I hope that I'm going to eat my own words tonight with the Real Girlfriends in Paris because I think it's going to be awful. But I was calling Vanderpump Rules all last season, the season of completion, and now all of a sudden we have a whole slew of new issues, new storylines, things that I actually want to see for our 10th season. I'm super excited.
Well, and we know that they're filming, they're test filming, they're filming a pilot for Schwartz and Sandy. So that could be the segue into having like a new Vanderpump Rules. LVP will definitely be an executive producer on that 100% because she's the one who gave all of them the platform to begin with. And then they'll probably try to figure out what to either cap off the rest of the cast members, you know, and kind of let them go.
I mean, could you complete it though this season? Could you complete all those storylines this season? Maybe. And then what happens after? I don't know. I think maybe the 10-year mark is a good mark. A decade of Vanderpump Rules, and now we're shifting into Schwartz and Sandy's. That could be great. But if the cast can deliver with everything going on, and there's so much going on, Sheena's getting married. Lala is, broken up from Randall, and you have all of that drama. James has a new girlfriend. Raquel is dating everyone and their mother. Schwartz and Sandy's is opening. Tom Schwartz and Katie got divorced. I mean, there's so much to see. It's ridiculous. So to wrap all of that up in one season, I don't know if that would be possible, but can they keep us interested past that? I mean, they proved me wrong.
I also think too, on top of that, just because reality shows kind of cap off after 10 seasons, unless it's like the Real Housewives, I don't think it needs to. Like you said, if there's enough to keep us interested.
Sure, if you have the audience, right? I mean, listen, we've been with these people for a very long time, like some of the ladies, and we've lost some of our originals, but some we're still following through their lives. Right. Some have been on longer than Housewives have been on, longer than Teddy and longer than probably Diana Jenkins.
Yeah.
I mean, so
you're right. Forgive, but who's Schwartz and Sandy? Tom Schwartz and Tom Sandoval. I'm still interested. I would like to see Stassi back too with her family. That's the thing too. It makes me wonder. I don't know if after you've been canceled, if they will give you a second chance. And I'm so curious about that. But also there's so many new shows and new platforms like Freevee and, like Peacock is under the NBC umbrella. So even though Bravo fired Stassi and then maybe Peacock, you never know. I don't see there being like a nail in the coffin for Stassi's reality TV career forever. I think that right now she's quiet and trying to figure out how to make a comeback, especially with her book. That was her start.
And what's going to be interesting about Stassi now that she's not this, you know, I don't know what's going to be interesting. What's the next step? What's the next level of Stassi? And do people care?
Well,
That's really what we have to ask, you know? Like, where do you go? You were a server who caused a lot of issues. You have the whole Jack story. Then you fucked up all your shit by making a bad phone call and bad judgment calls when you put on costumes and stuff and got canceled. You came on the Tamron Hall show and looked like you had learned nothing.
right.
Where do you go next? Like, are people interested?
Well, but then, you know, I do have to say too, I thought when she was canceled, people are so divided on this too. Like, do you give her another chance? Do you see how she's grown from it? Or do you know, like, this is it, you're done, you're axed? But then I was like, this is going to be very telling to see her book tour and how people respond to it. And the fact that she had the crowds that she had, and she had the amount of book sales that she had, which some people claim that it was maybe the publisher who bought all of those copies. I don't want to take something away from you. You made the New York Times bestselling list or sellers list. You know, it is what it is. But she proved.
I mean, it's like getting a Grammy at this point. I think they just buy all of them.
Listen,
but I'm not sure if that was it, because she does bring big crowds, and like I said, she brings
big crowd.
If there's the audience and they're interested, and you can provide like something interesting for your next chapter. Maybe it is being a mom. Maybe it is. I don't know what it is, but if people are interested, then there's a show for sure.
You know, and there was honestly, where was somebody? Lori said people that are canceled have come back, look at comedians. And then Rob J in the City said, I won't watch anything new with Stassi. Grow in peace and unseen. Goodbye, Stassi.
I might have to agree with that.
I mean, and listen, Priscilla, are you kidding me with Candace? She's the one that needs to go childish and enticing hate and violence all the time. I didn't say, listen, I'm saying that I think that she's a very talented actress and I think she's a great singer. I didn't say that I love watching her on reality.
She's messy on the show and messy off the show, messy on Twitter.
Yeah.
But lately, Lisa Rinna has taken all of those crowns away from everyone.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And Andy better address Lisa Rinna about his social media antics the same way that he addressed Candace, because that's only fair too. He called Candace a mess on social media. And I know that
he did on Watch What Happens Live a little bit, but he really does need to like grill on that a little more.
If he lets I don't know. Lisa Rinna's like, she's sitting there right now, stirring her coffee, getting ready for her day. And she's like, Friday, I'm about to take these just down. I just hope I would laugh.
This is not a dancing day. I'm going to write some nasty shit on people's comments.
Oh, I mean, listen, she's coming full force, and her target is Kathy Hilton and also Sutton. And I'm sure she's going to be wild. I think that she doesn't know if she's going to be asked back. So I think she's just going to leave it all on the table and be like, I'm going to say whatever I want.
Kind of like when she was screaming about her rosé. Ah!
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just see how that works out. Do that at the reunion. Let's just see.
Yeah.
Which is what this week they film what, Friday?
They film Friday. Yeah. We'll be in LA when they film.
Oh, we will be.
It's not like we're going to be there, but we'll be in LA. We'll be taking in the vibes going on in LA during filming reunion day.
We'll feel it.
Oh, don't act like this is new. Rinna has been doing this since she got on the show. I know, but it's just gotten, the behavior has gotten like, it's now
whole new level.
It's like way, 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 way darker. The fact that we're watching so many people comment and say that they're going to stop watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. First of all, if you think that Bravo doesn't listen, they listen and see everything. I see my stories all the time. I always show Jason where you see Bravo TV, Watch What Happens Live, Daily Dish. Like, they're watching, and they're probably watching our lives. And I know a lot of the housewives do too, but it's almost like we're doing research and development for them, because Andy Cohen said to, Kelly Dodd on The Real Housewives of Orange County reunion, people are saying that they're going to stop watching the show if you're on it. And they listened and they got rid of Kelly Dodd. But now some of the same people who didn't want her there are now wanting her back, which is very interesting to me. Yeah. I'm curious. She was like really, her antics were quite something on the show, but she really was funny. It's just, I think sometimes she just goes a little maybe overboard. Yeah. I mean, but she says that too. It's wild. All right. On top of, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. Okay. Well, speaking of like other housewives who are being very loud right now, and not in a that one. I'm not saying it in a bad way, but Bethenny Frankel is making noise. I mean, this whole first part of September already, this first week, not only with her, she's just calling everything out, really, right?
She's just kind of calling Kim Kardashian's skincare line out for, good points, right? Because that's what she's doing now is she's like kind of sharing a lot of products and skincare products and dupes of products that work better than some of her like super luxury products. But she's just calling the need for like change in social media and I don't know. What do you think about all this? Why is she making so much noise? And then she was just with Andy the other week.
I think she just doesn't give a shit. She's like, I'm successful. And she's always been a straight shooter, right? Like she's calling out people for photoshopping and she has a daughter. So she might be coming from the place of, you guys are setting a bad tone. Like it's okay to look like this on the left side. This is what I really look like. And then on the right side, there's apps that, are making me look like this is not who I am in real life. This is technically this.
Well, I mean, and this is why she was calling out the Kardashians too. This is what we want to watch. This is what we want to celebrate is, like you can't hold a relationship. I mean, the way she went on and on about it. I mean, I want to say I completely agreed with her.
She got shadow banned.
Which is also ridiculous. Why are you getting shadow banned for saying something about something that people talk about all the time? Just because you have a different opinion. I agree with Bethenny. I mean, like, listen, if I had a daughter, she would not be watching Kardashians. That is a fact.
I'm someone's daughter and I'm watching Kardashians.
Girl, please.
Norma, she's making noise because her daughter is coming into the age of Instagram craziness. Yeah.
And social media has changed a lot. It used to be fun and now it's just like part of business. It's part of your interactions with people. If you don't follow someone or you don't message them back, it's become just so horrific. Like I hate social media. I used to love Instagram when it was Instagram and not like whatever the hell it is now.
Listen, there are so many people too. Like I'll sometimes go on social media and I think that I agree with Bethenny too. If you don't want to follow somebody, who gives a shit? You don't follow them. Like I sometimes see people who I've known for a long time or just met or whatever. And I'll see where we've met up and it's like, oh, let's give each other a follow, whatever. And then I see their stuff pop up and I'm like, I don't agree with this. I don't want to see it. I don't care. It's like it's like making me think like I'm in like let's have a debate about it. I don't have time to have a debate about it. I don't give a shit. But then it gets you in your feelings and you're reading something and you're like, this is the dumbest shit that I've ever seen. So then you don't want to be like.
Well, it used to be kind of fun, like sharing photos, and now it's like, like way more than opinions and way more than political views and religious views and everything hits you, and it's just like it's like watching an episode of Beverly Hills.
Yeah, Lisa
Toxic.
Johnson. What is shadow banning? What is a shadow ban?
It basically means that her stuff doesn't come up as much. They kind of like pushed her to the side. I mean, This is like, think of it like Instagram. Like, it's not popping up in the algorithm. They've kind of just pushed you out, which is so ridiculous because when you go onto Instagram and there are some amazing accounts on Instagram, travel ones, positivity. There's great like positive Instagram accounts, but then there's ones that like sometimes like the Kardashians who, I don't know. It's just like, because you're talking bad about them and they make so much money for Instagram and on Instagram and they are the faces of that, you're just going to push Bethenny. It's just weird. It's very weird.
The Skinwalker said, but Kelly Dodd is not worse than Rinna.
At this point, I don't know. Rinna is,
Hi, Chris. Welcome. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's terrible that they can shadow ban people. It's all like if someone I saw too, they were like, that doesn't exist. It definitely exists. Like your shit can be suppressed in the,
it's crazy. We live in the most free country in the world, but we are also suppressed when it comes to social media on certain things. It's like, oh, Bethenny, you pissed us off. I thought this was a platform you could share opinions and views or whatever, but
not today.
Not today. Not today. Hard to keep up with though. Twitter. What else is that? Freaking everything. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Then there's like all other kinds of things like Twitch and Discord and Reddit and WhatsApp and iMessage. And I can just keep going and going and going. And it's just so, it makes me feel like I'm watching Beverly Hills, like I said.
Yeah. But listen, in the meantime, guys, it is a Labor Day, and we know that you guys are barbecuing and doing some other stuff, so we don't want to keep you this whole time, and there's not too much more to talk about. We know that we're getting the new episode where Erica Girardi is screaming like a wild woman and she's yelling at everybody. That is coming this week.
Oh my gosh, it is.
Yeah. And then, of course, we're getting the second part of the Real Housewives of Dubai reunion. We have a lot to talk about, but Jason and I are flying out early Wednesday morning. So I don't know. We'll keep you guys posted in the community tab on how we're going to work this out as far as lives. But also tonight, and I know I said this already a few times, if you go to the main page, click the community tab, scroll down, and you click Let's Whine About It. We're doing our members only live tonight at 7 p.m. So make sure to come join us. If you guys are not members yet, you can go click the link. And in the link for your first month, it's only $1.49. But we have a lot to talk about. We're talking about the new podcast. We're also talking about our change of plans when it comes to BravoCon, and we'll sort of explain why. And then we're talking about our next interview because we need your help. And that's why we titled it that. Right, Jay?
That is exactly right. I can't wait.
All right. All right, guys. We love you so much. Jason, did I miss anything?
We are not doing Anchor Watch tomorrow night. So if you're part of the Anchor Watch crowd, and I said we were going to do it, but we're not going to do it. We're going to wait because we have had some things come up. I know the new episode is on Peacock. I don't know if the new episode is actually coming out tonight. It might be. I'm not sure, but we have to leave it for the airport at 4 a.m. So going live at 11 p.m. is not going to happen.
We're not leaving at 4.
We have a very early flight, Adam. I forgot to tell you.
I'm booking shit from now on.
Good morning. Good morning.
Whatever. All right. All right, guys.
All right.
We love you. We'll see you for Let's Whine About It. Thank you so much for the super chat, super stickers. Thank you to all of our mods. Thank you to everyone in the live chat. And if this was your first live, like Chris, well, hey, welcome. And we'll see you for members only, where we get a little bit more unfiltered. Bye, guys. Love you.
Bye, everyone.